Listen, if you happen to have a Bible in your pocket, pull it out and look at Psalm 139. I'm going to read it to you from verses 7 until 16. Where can I go from your spirit, the psalmist says, or where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, behold, you are there. If I take the wings of the dawn, if I dwell in the remotest part of the sea, even there your hand will lead me, and your right hand will lay hold of me. If I say, surely the darkness will overwhelm me, and the light around me will be night, even the darkness is not dark to you, and the night is as bright as the day. Darkness and light are alike to you, for you formed my inward parts. You wove me in my mother's womb. I will give thanks to you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, and my soul knows it very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in secret and skillfully wrought in the depths of the earth. Your eyes have seen my unformed substance, and in your book were all written the days that were ordained for me, when as yet there was not one of them. How precious also, I'm going to read verses 17 and 18. How precious also are your thoughts to me, O God. How vast is the sum of them. If I should count them, they would outnumber the sand. When I awake, I am still with you. What is the psalmist talking about? He's talking about an intimate relationship with each of us. God knows us intimately, and we're going to find from that same moment I met my brother, at that very moment of conception. Now let me take you to a very scary place for a minute, a very frightening place. In fact, of all the places I've been on the earth, I've been to 47 countries on several continents, but I will tell you the scariest place I have ever been is Darfur in the Sudan. And when I was there, this is what I discovered. This is why it was so scary there. You all know what's happening in Darfur, right? You know about all the terrible death and suffering, hundreds of thousands of people, as near as we can tell, hundreds of thousands dead, many, many more displaced, terrible, terrible plight of human suffering. But the scariest thing about Darfur in the Sudan was the fact that the people who were hosting me were afraid to even let their thoughts be known. They certainly wouldn't issue an opinion on anything, on the government or on the suffering of the people there, because they were afraid if they did, they would be murdered by their own government. Now that's a pretty scary place. When you can't even think for yourself, because the consequences of that could be literally death. You could die for thinking out loud. That's a pretty scary place. Very hard for us to imagine in this country, because we're not only free to think, we're free to speak, and we're pretty free to act the way we want. Well, all that to kind of set up the subject at hand, thinking about the words of the psalmist that I just read to you from Psalm 139, and oddly enough, thinking about a really quirky movie. Anybody seen Juno? You seen the movie Juno? I'll tell you, it's really one of the most entertaining films I have watched.